This was around 1992, on my 12th birthday. I had a little birthday party, and after it was over, I decided to go rest on the couch in the living room. My parents were in the kitchen cleaning up, and I was exhausted. It was sometime in the late evening, probably around 7:30 or 8, and it was about to get dark. The sun was going down, and I was just relaxing and watching TV when I saw a huge figure in completely black clothing towering right outside the window. It was messed up because whoever it was in this attire looked almost like the Grim Reaper. As hilariously messed up as that sounds, my living room has a slide open door where you can get out to the back porch. It's mainly glass, and you can see into the living room if you're standing outside in front of this doorway. The figure pointed at me, and from underneath his back hood, I could see some creepy old guy grinning at me. I couldn't see his whole face, just the neck and chin and mouth. Then he began trying to open the door. Thank God it was locked. And I finally got the nerve to shoot out of the living room into the kitchen where my parents were. I had been paralyzed with terror. I was in such a hurry, I tripped over the coffee table and scraped up my leg pretty badly. But I knew I had to get the hell out of there. I ran screaming and crying to my parents and told them what I had seen. My dad went to his bedroom and got his pistol, and then went outside, gun loaded and ready to fire. What was so strange was that whoever this was had completely vanished. There was no car in our driveway, no signs that he was there, except for one thing: a small notepad right by the living room door, which had the name David in all capital letters, followed by a home address. What the most terrifying thing was, is that my name is David, and that was our address on the notepad. My father was more pissed than scared, and shouted not to come back again. My dad has a bit of a temper, so he wasn't going to stand for this. We called the cops that night, and they looked at the notepad, and said they'd keep their eyes out for suspicious activity. The police ran it for fingerprints, but there is no trace of anything. It's like it had never been touched, which was very strange. There wasn't much to go on other than the notepad. I didn't see the guy's face, and it appeared that he wasn't in a car, so it was a dead end for us. Fortunately, though, I never heard from or saw that creep again. God only knows what he would have done to me. When I was 4 years old, my mom and I moved into a large colonial-style house that was built in the late 1800s. My mom always had a weird feeling about the house. There was a little bricked-off section in the basement, and we never knew why it was there. My mother told me that soon after we moved into the house, I suddenly had an imaginary friend. One day out of the blue, I told her that I had been playing with a little girl named Ginny. She thought it was just a phase and didn't pay much attention to it. I told her that Ginny wanted me to let the cat go down into the basement so that she could play with it. My mother allowed me to let the cat go down there, but it never came back again, and that creeped her out. Then a few days later, I told her Ginny wanted me to go into the basement to play with her. My mom refused and told me to go upstairs to bed, and I did. But when I woke up the next morning, I had deep scratches on my back and legs. My mom decided to research the history of the house. She found an old picture of the house and the family who used to live there. She showed me the picture and asked if I recognized any of them. There were 7 little girls in the picture, and without hesitation I pointed to one of them. The names of all the family members were written on the back. The girl I had pointed at was named Ginny. My mother got scared because during her research, she discovered that the girl named Ginny had gone down into the basement one day and was never seen again. The family never found her, and they moved shortly after that. After I identified the girl in the picture, it was all way too much for my mom to handle. We moved out of the house and found somewhere else to live. When I turned 18, my mom told me all about what happened in that house. It scares me when I think about it. I grew up in a very small town in Montana, and during the summer, my brother and I would sometimes sell lemonade by the side of the road. We didn't make a lot of money, but we did have fun selling the lemonade to people who were passing by. One hot afternoon, my brother and I were standing at our lemonade stand when we noticed an old rusty car pass by us 2 or 3 times. At the time, it struck me as a little creepy. Eventually, the car slowed down and stopped right in front of the stand. There was a woman in the passenger seat, and as she rolled down the window, I saw she was really skinny, with gray hair that had been stained a sickly yellow color due to way too much smoking. I couldn't see the man who was driving very well because he never looked at me. He just stared straight ahead. Both of them seemed very odd, and their clothes were old and dirty. She asked, "Are you boys out here selling lemonade all by yourself?" I responded, "Yeah, my mom lets us." She then asked, "Is your mom home?" I said, "Yeah, she's in the house." The woman turned and looked at the man who was driving. He nodded, still staring straight ahead. The woman turned back to me and said, "Okay, I'll have a lemonade." I responded, "That'll be 25 cents, as I poured her a glass. She rummaged around her purse, and I could hear coins clicking, and then she pulled out a $5 bill and held it out for me. A chill went down my spine. Why was she handing me a $5 bill if she had coins in her purse? Something didn't feel right. I said, "I don't have any change." I lied to her. "You can keep the change," she said. "Just come and take it." Something felt very wrong, but $5 is a lot of money to a kid. I walked up to the car and reached out to take the $5 from her hand. As soon as my fingers touched it, the woman suddenly grabbed me by my wrist and began pulling me into the car. I screamed my lungs out, and my brother ran to the house, yelling for help. The man floored the accelerator, and the car lunged forward. I fought with all my might and managed to wrench myself free from her grasp. The car stopped and the man got out, but I was already running for my life. My brother was pounding on the door and screaming. My mother rushed out and turned just in time to see the old rusty car speeding away. We told my mom what had happened, and she called the police. When my brother and I calmed down and went back to the lemonade stand, there was a $5 bill laying on the ground. We packed up the lemonade stand and put it away for good.